Hi, and welcome to another episode of Legends Live, presented by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, the official home for NBA and WNBA legends. Now, today has a lot of history in the WNBA. If you've been following along on our Twitter page at NBA Alumni, you've seen that 31 years ago today, MJ hit the shot that advanced the Bulls in the playoffs. Then we have 30 plus 12 years ago, I think it was, Shawn Marion was born, NBA champion and our NBA alumni board director. 25 years ago, Reggie Miller hit those 8 points in 8.9 seconds to secure the win for the Pacers. And 18 years ago, a simple phrase launched 1,000 ships. We talking about practice? But today on Legends Live, it's going to be all about the ladies. We have 2 WNBA legends joining us for a great conversation. And to steer that conversation, we have WNBA legend and newly appointed Director of Community Relations and Youth Sports for the Los Angeles Sparks. Here she is, folks, Rushia Brown. Hi, Rushia.
Good afternoon, Bridget. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome. Really excited about today. You spoke of some really interesting points in sports in the world of basketball and sports period. And like you said, but today it's all about the women. So I'm really excited about the conversation we're about to have.
Fantastic. I'll let you kick it off.
All right. So in 1997, when the WNBA kicked off, this young lady was a prominent piece of that puzzle. I had a chance to play against her and also work with her. So now we have joining us Coach Vickie Johnson from the Las Vegas Aces.
Hello, how you doing? Good afternoon.
How are you, VJ?
I'm good. And you?
I'm doing great.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sad, but I'm happy for you. You deserve it.
Well, I'm committed to the game, so no matter where I am, and it will be to the growth of the game and the women that are playing it. So I'm always at your access, at your beck and call, as usual.
No doubt.
You're safe down in Texas.
I am. I'm good. My family is good for the most part. Last Thursday, we buried one of my close cousins, my mom's first cousin that lived next door to us for many years, Linda Clark. And now her sister, which is my cousin as well, is in ICU right now.
Very sorry to hear that.
Coronavirus, yes. So I have pneumonia in both lungs. She's on the ventilator right now, and so we're just praying that everything works out.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
So that's the most important.
Make sure we keep your family in our prayers. And Vickie, our relationship started through basketball, but I want to know what your relationship with basketball, how did it start? How did you get into this game?
Well, it's funny because I didn't really get into playing basketball because I wanted to be this great basketball player. The reason why I got into it was just to prove to my oldest brother that girls could play basketball and we can play it at a higher level. So that was my whole goal. And then once I got into it, I enjoyed it. My uncle, actually, my dad's youngest brother, actually taught me the game from a young age. And then I just took off from there. And then at the age of 9, I watched Louisiana Tech and USC play with Cheryl Miller and the McGee twins. And that was my goal, to play at Louisiana Tech at the age of 9. And I had that opportunity.
That's good. So what was your recruiting process like? But what was your recruiting like?
At first, it was very difficult because I'm from Coshada, a very small town in Louisiana. Has probably 2 red lights. But I play AAU. I play AAU in the summer. I played from Shreveport to Baton Rouge to New Orleans. We played all over, the world and the United States and had great competition. And then so at the end of my sophomore year, I actually committed to Louisiana Tech. And so it was an easy process for me, but I was the #1 recruiting player in the country at the time.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, and that's awesome. And I just know that your work ethic from that time forward just really put you in a position to be successful. So let's talk about, the WNBA draft just passed. These young ladies' lives have forever changed, even though it's not a typical year. Let's talk about what your process was coming into the WNBA, because it's not like everybody else's.
No, it was quite different. In 97 and 96, I graduated from Louisiana Tech. At the time, they had the ABL at the time. And so I got drafted to the ABL, but I declined and I decided to go overseas for a year. And then I actually, in 97, the WNBA started. So I was placed in New York with Teresa Weatherspoon, Kim Hampton, Rebecca Lobo. So I didn't really go through the draft per se, but just having the opportunity to play in the WNBA for so long, for 13 years, and now being able to coach in there is amazing, but the experience was quite different because when I got into the league, the players were older. We were some of the youngest players, Cheryl Swoop, Tina Thompson. We were young, and so now we playing against the Teresa Weatherspoon, the Cynthia Cooper, all those players that we have, we heard, of course, Teresa Weatherspoon because she graduated from Louisiana Tech, and Cynthia Cooper because USC. But some players we didn't know. I didn't know. I only knew through watching women's basketball because that's how I learned a lot, just watching the game, studying the game. I had a couple of favorite players that I watched, like Teresa Edwards, Bridget Gordon were some of my favorite players. But the league was quite different. It was very physical, very intense. There was no friends outside of your teammates. You didn't go out to eat. You didn't really shake hands. So it was very different, but a great experience.
It was definitely intense in those beginning years, and just like you mentioned, the level of intensity and what it brought to the game. But still, there was such a huge love for the game that first year, and just walking out onto the court, and especially in New York. I remember coming there and just seeing like Denzel and Spike Lee, Penny Marshall sitting on the sidelines. But then after the game, seeing so many incredible young ladies that were huge fans. Let's talk about what your impact was on these younger ladies that were looking to have careers in basketball.
I think the biggest thing playing at the Garden in those days, we saw more merchandise than the Knicks. We were just in there for the summer. We filled the arena. I think because we were a team that was known for, we was like blue collar workers. We came to work, we laid everything on the court, and once we left, the fans appreciated it. It was money well spent on their behalf, and I think New Yorkers are blue collar workers, and they appreciate players like ourselves. You, for example, you didn't play in New York, but you was blue collar workers, Spoon. But a lot of young players came in, and just having the opportunity to sit down with them and just explain to them the importance of being a good teammate, being unselfish, you got to give it yourself. There's no I in team. Your egos, you got to put your egos aside. If you want to be a leader, you got to hold yourself accountable. The most important thing before you can hold anyone else accountable, and not play the blame game. A lot of players play the blame game. It wasn't my fault, but you got to look at yourself first, and you got to look within, and you have to see what you can do better as a player, and then how you can help your teammates be better, and then that's how the team can be successful. And I think just having the opportunity for them to just be able to touch us, to be able to ask us questions, and us to be, present, really looking them in the eye and really answering their questions, touching them, being able to touch them and understand that, we're just like you guys, but whatever you put in, the one thing I learned, whatever you put into the game is what you're going to get out the game. And not only just about basketball, it's just about life. If you put in 110% in whatever you do, then it's going to come back to you, because God promised you that whatever you put in, it's coming back. A man that works eats. So that's the bottom line. I think it's very important for us at that time just to be able to touch the young kids and let them know that it's possible. Doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or whatever. It's what you put into the game, you know, because my mom raised 4 kids by herself, you know, but she always encouraged each and every one of us to go out and give 110%. And not only that, when you put on that uniform, you know, you make a commitment to that name in the front of your jersey, and you make a commitment to the name at the back of your jersey, and that's pride, you know, and you go out and you give 110%.
And you have so many jewels that you just shared with us as to the mindset of success. But not only were you able to parlay that into good relationships with the youth, the young ladies watching, but even as you transitioned into coaching, assistant coach, head coach, in that space, how do you feel like your knowledge is being able to impact the players of today?
Well, I think, you know, this generation is quite different. You know, for us, I think we just automatic had respect for coaches, you know, because they are coaches. They should know better than us, you know, and we just took their word for it. This generation is different. They want to know that you walk the walk, and whatever you tell them, it better work, because in their mind mentality, it's unfortunate, but it's real. Their mindset for many years, they have been the best. AAU, college, All-American, coming in, you know, in the top round in the draft, or first or second or third in the draft, you know, so they have it all together, you know. And so us as legends, when we're able to communicate and to help them grow, not only on the court, but off the court, about the game, how you approach the game. The game actually is played in practice before you even get in the game. It's preparation. Are you prepared? Do you know the scouting report? Are you going to do the little things that matters at the end? Are you in shape? You know, have you studied the game? Do you know the plays? You know, how are you going to make yourself better, and how are you going to make your teammates better? You know, just those little things, you know, that we're able, and that I'm able to give as a former player and an assistant coach and a former head coach is huge. You know, I studied the game. When I was a player, I studied the game. I could tell you everybody first to second move, you know, and just those little nuggets that I can kind of help them on the defensive side of the basketball as well as the offensive side of basketball has been huge for our players.
I know it has a great impact because, like you mentioned, it's not really all about your physical; it's that mental.
Exactly.
I'll just say Taj McWilliams. Like, Taj played forever, and by the end of her career, she wasn't that athletic. She's not running anywhere fast. She wasn't jumping, but she was so smart that she was able to outfox the players because she knew the game.
Right.
Like you mentioned, just trying to relay that to the players. And you've had an opportunity. We see you now here playing with Vickie and Sophia. Can't see who that is on the other side, but you've been
Aaron Busher.
Oh, Aaron Busher. Aaron was my roommate in Charlotte.
Yes.
Together in Charlotte. But you've been on the court with so many incredible players.
I have.
Gone on to even coach. But you yourself, not only in the WNBA, but you had a chance this summer to be with Team USA for qualifiers. Let's talk about that experience, because I know that's a different level.
Oh man, it was the most rewarding experience ever. For them to trust me into doing the scouting reports and to be a coach, a coach on the court, to be among, you know, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, you know, Simone Augustus, the older players has done their thing, and Angel has done their thing, and also Sylvia Fowles. And then to be with the younger players like Asia Wilson and Jewel Lord, and then the younger players like the Diamond DeShields and Enrique. It was the best experience ever. One thing that I did learn just being a coach, it's bigger than just coaching for me. You know, it's to be able to share the knowledge that I have learned throughout the years. and it's a funny story. So NECA, I love NECA. She plays with a lot of energy. She plays for LA Sparks. And I was like, so I was laying in the bed and I was like, oh, I want to show NECA this move, but then I don't want to show her because she's going to use it against us in the summertime. And I was like, Lord, what should I do? And he was like, show her. So the next day I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then finally I was like, NECA, I was like, I know I'm going to regret this, but I would like to show you something that's going to enhance your game. And it's just a small little tweak. And she was like, and I showed her and she was like, oh my God. And she got MVP. I'm not saying because I showed her that she got MVP, but it helped her to go to the next level. And I'm not gonna lie, some coaches was like, VJ, you're gonna regret this. But it's bigger than just winning and losing for me. I want to see every player at their best. And if there's anything I can do to enhance that, because I work with Skylar Diggins, with the USA national team. I work with Jewel Lord. You know, it was a honor for me to be able to share the knowledge that I have learned throughout, 15 years of playing, 10 years of coaching, understanding their game, and also to help them enhance so they could be the best version of them when they step out on the court. Doesn't matter if they playing with me or against me. I just want them to be the best. And I want to see the best athlete, because when I started this game, I wanted this game to grow, this league to grow to new heights. And in order to do that, every athlete in our league have to be at their best. And so that's what I got from USA Basketball. But I had an amazing time. The coaching staff, USA Basketball, everything was amazing for me. I'm truly blessed.
And you brought that up, the coaching staff, and we'll come back to that. But we have a question.
Okay.
From our viewers. We're going to answer a question first. Let's see if Rich can get that up for us.
Yeah, so Vickie, we have a question that came in from YouTube for you. I'm going to show it right now. It's from Bria. She also played AAU down in Louisiana too, and she's so happy that you're on the show. But she would like to know, what are some legends of the women's game, no matter what level, that you wished were talked about more? You referenced Teresa and Bridget earlier, but why don't you talk a little bit more about that?
Arcane from Houston.
Good one.
Underrated.
Good one.
She was amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing. Like defensively, she was on a whole nother level. And then offensively, she just did the little things. She didn't do anything fancy, but she really knew the game. She played it. She played it the right way. Nolan, for example, Nolan from Detroit, the most athletic player I ever seen in my whole entire life, played against, try to defend her. I think because she was a little quiet, but I don't think she ever really got recognized for her game and what she brought to the game. I think it was overlooked a lot. Sue Wicks, for example, she was the Dennis Rodman of our league. I didn't know I played with her, but her ability.
I know. I played against. I caught a couple of their bows.
Her ability to be able to play and press the whole game for 40 minutes, and you talk about unselfish. She didn't care if she scored. She just wanted to steal the basketball and hit somebody with a good screen and got the offensive ball, whatever, offensive rebound. I think those three players for me are the three players for me.
And if we went through the catalog of the players in the league, there were so many, because the league, the way it was, you had a lot of people who played their role and did what they were needed to do. And that was it. There was no issue about it. So, we came up in a time where that really did matter. Play your role, do what you need to do.
Right.
You spoke about being blessed and having the opportunity on the level to coach, even with Team USA. Talk about what it's like, even in the coaching experience. You coached with Team USA, but also in Vegas, you're working with one of the original bad boys, Coach Bill Laimbeer. And with The Last Dance being on, we get to see, like, we already knew.
Right.
the younger generation, they got a chance to look at Bill and see who he was on the court. Let's talk about working with him and for him on the coaching staff.
He's still the same. He's a bad boy. He's very direct. The best thing, what I love about Bill is that he has an ego, but at the same time, as being the head coach and GM, he allows you to grow, and he gives you responsibility, and he's not looking over your shoulder. Once he has your trust, when he trusts you, then he allow you to grow and develop. But as a coach, he's very direct. Not everybody can play for him. Probably not everybody could play with him. I don't really know, but very honest, very direct. So I really enjoy, just soaking in all the knowledge that he has as a player, as a coach, as winning, and I know that I'll take a lot of those things because I still want to be a head coach one day, and I'll still take bits and pieces of that from him. And he's very, like I said, he's very intense. Sometimes, when he's intense, I try to bring it down so I can reason with the players and kind of reason with him as well as he's going off on the referees. And then when he's kind of quiet, and then that's when I raise to another level, and so I try to balance him out as much as possible. But having the opportunity to work with a Hall of Famer and under a Hall of Famer is more than I could ever ask for. I know like 2 years ago, I was like, God, send me some mentors that, I can really trust and learn from. And I got Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer.
What more could you ask for, BJ?
I can't ask for anything more, Mm-hmm. And a little nugget, Joe Dumars is from Natchitoches, which is 30 minutes away from me. So I always watched Detroit play. Now I was more of a Laker fan, a Magic Johnson, James Worth, those type of teams. But yeah, I enjoy. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's good. And even with the coaches you got a chance to coach with this summer,
yeah.
How was that impactful? Because these are coaches that during the summertime you're traditionally coaching against.
Yes.
To now be on the same team and understanding their mindset and their strategies. What kind of nuggets did you take away from that experience?
Well, Cheryl is different. She's a very intense. She's a female Bill. She's very she's very intense. I didn't really see the real Cheryl like from Minnesota because that's her team. She's trying to implement a lot of Coach Don Staley game plan. And so that's what we did most. And Dan, of course I played for Dan and I worked under Dan. So I kind of know his personality, but Cheryl just in-game stuff, halftime adjustments, the way she relates to the players, understanding personnel, vets versus younger players. Mm-hmm. She kind of catered to both in a sense, but she allows the older, the more experienced players to determine if they wanted practice or not practice or whatever the case may be. Having that trust with the more experienced players and now pushing the younger players and challenging them in a different way. So just learning a lot of X's and O, how to approach the game, game plan, in-game adjustments, halftime adjustment. So I think that's the biggest thing I took away. I mean, having the opportunity to, of course, coach under Dan for 6 years was amazing. And then having the opportunity to work for Bill for the last 2 years and now to have Cheryl. Those are three coaches that have done what I would hope to do one day is win a championship, be a head coach and win a championship. So all three coaches have won championships.
Very good. We got only a couple more questions, but we got questions coming in. So
okay.
Other people ask you some questions and then I'll finish you off with the last two.
Okay.
Get Bridget to come back in and let us know what the fans are saying.
Yeah, so thanks to all the viewers. We have such an active chat going on today. A lot of people are saying hi. It looks like Las Vegas Aces fan base is strong in the viewership today. Vickie, you might want to plead the fifth on this question, but it gave me a laugh, so I'm going to share it with you ladies. From Bill Corey on Facebook, VJ,
Lord.
Real now. Vegas now has another reason to give LA the business. So since they just took our Rue, how should we razz this season?
Yeah, Phil. I'm very upset as well. I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm very pissed. And so they will feel the wrath. They will. I promise you, Phil.
That's so funny. When I told Bill about it, he was like, as long as you're not coaching, we'll help support you. But if you were down on the court somewhere, it'd be a different issue. But
now you
with
can't,
my position,
give out our plays, defense.
Girl, I don't even remember those plays. Trust. All good.
Girl, that basketball IQ was on a whole nother level. Oh,
That's funny. That's funny. But no, I mean, in the times that I got a chance to spend, the opportunities with the coaches and being able to learn myself. I love the game, but seeing the different styles of the way that people coach. And I'll let Bridget give you another question, but I definitely recognize, Bill had 3 great personalities on the team, 3 different levels. And like you said, the adjustments were made in the proper timing.
So we have another question from Facebook. This is from Garnetta Brown, and she would like to know who you think is the best defender right now in the WNBA.
That's a good question, G.
That's because it's not too many people in our league play defense. I think NECA. I think NECA at the 4 position is very impressive. I think Alyssa Thomas from Connecticut is very aggressive. I think Canada, how she anticipates steals and stuff. I think she averaged 4.5 steals a game. I think that's impressive. And I think my PG, I think Kelsey Plum. And I know it's surprising for a lot of people, but the time that she has put in on the defensive side of basketball is a huge jump from the first year to now. The way she can influence the game, put the ball pressure on, turn the ball over, make someone make a bad pass or deflection or something is huge. I think those are my 4. Those are my 4 defenders.
VJ, I love that you brought Plum up, and I'll tell a cute little story about her because last year while I was doing TV for the Aces, the first 2 years I did it. So Plum was a liability on defense that year. And so I was giving her, the business once, and she was like, Rue, I'm not going to be a liability on defense. I'm going to put the work in. And so good to see her last year. She legit did it. She worked on her work, her timing, understanding where her teammates were on the rotation. I was really excited for her. And I really attribute that to her mindset, but also with the coaching staff challenging her because Bill gave it to her every game, every practice, and just challenging her to be better. So I know that really makes a huge difference. And to be a good coach, just like being a psychiatrist, because you got to can cuss at, you got to coddle, who you got to challenge. And you guys have done an incredible job.
Thank you.
Your interaction with the players, it just really makes me excited about where this league can go when I know that there are coaches like yourself in this realm.
Thank you.
Got 2 questions left. The first one I'm going to ask you is your thoughts on The Last Dance. I don't know if you've been watching it. I know you're a hoop fan, so I couldn't imagine you wouldn't be watching it. But let's talk about some of the things that are coming out. Those of us who watched it real time, you knew bits and pieces. But now that all the stuff is coming out from behind the scenes, what are your thoughts on The Last Dance?
I love it because it is in order to be a leader. Not everybody's gonna like you. And if you put in the work, you have the right to go at people's throat. That's how I feel. I was the same player. I'm putting in the work. My expectation is very high. I mean, my former teammates like Becky, Crystal, they will always say damn, we were more afraid of you than the coach because my expectation. So Jordan is amazing. And the way he was able to put in the time and also smoking cigars is amazing. That's amazing. But his intensity level, how he approached the game, because at the end of the day, a lot of my friends called me about when he called Scottie Pippen selfish, when Scottie should have, had the surgery right after the season. And so he only thought about himself. But I understand Scottie as well. He was thinking about, okay, if I don't have the surgery, if I have the surgery, then I have to play because I'm still under contract. I understand that part of it. But then at the end of the day, Jordan was about winning basketball game, even though he felt like Jerry didn't really give him an opportunity to defend or whatever. At the end of the day, he wanted to play basketball and he wanted to win. And he was very competitive. And but I kind of knew that about him, being very competitive. But I think the biggest thing, like I watch Kobe, and when I'm watching Jordan, it's like watching Kobe. And it's like, if you're gonna model your game behind someone, when you want to model it behind yes,
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And so I enjoy it. I enjoy The Last Dance. I hope that young people can really see the time and the effort that they put in. Not only Jordan, but his teammates, how they had to give of themselves, how hard they had to work, how dedicated they had to be to the game in order to achieve the things that they wanted to achieve in the game.
The blueprint was definitely laid out, and they continue to share more and more nuggets with us. We've got a couple more questions, and then we're going to finish up. But you got the people asking all kinds of questions, so they own it.
Oh,
Vickie, the people want to hear from you. So I have two more from Facebook, Erica and Jean. So we'll do what I think might be the easier question first. We're going to bring it back to defense, but this time it's going to be about your defense. So Erica Mitchell from Facebook would like to know, who was your favorite player to guard?
Well, I had two. Cynthia Cooper, because she could do it all. And every possession, I had to guard her a different way. And her offensive game was on a whole nother level. And Tamika Catchings, because she was a bigger guard and I was a smaller guard, so I had to guard her the whole time. So it was very important for me to kind of study their game. And then I figured if I could guard Cynthia Cooper and Tamika Catchings, I could guard anybody in the league. So
that's the gambit you got from one spectrum to the other.
Exactly. Post up,
drive, strength, finesse, quickness, all of those things. So you had to be on your game.
Yeah.
Okay, Bridget?
I know that picture I flashed wasn't you defending Coop, but I just loved her facial expression in that photo, so I had to show it for our viewers. But Jean on Facebook has a really interesting question, so it'll be great to hear your take on this.
Okay.
How do you feel if the whole WNBA season is played in Vegas or Orlando, and what type of impact will it have without fans at the games?
Because we don't have a vaccine for the coronavirus, so I think it would be smart to just play in one location, bring all the players and staff to one location. I prefer Vegas because, of course, I work in Vegas, but because I think they can host a variety of teams the right way. Not saying that Orlando can't, but I know because of the hotels, the casinos, and everything, I think that they could control the atmosphere a little bit better. But the impact without fans, because safety is first for me, for everyone, the fans, the players, everyone. But it's going to be different because as a player and as a coach, you feed off the energy from the fans. They're the sixth player, and so not to have fans is huge, but it will be safe. But it's like being in the backyard, just playing pickup games with your best friends. It's still going to be competitive. It's still going to be amazing. It's still going to be televised. So I think it will be difficult, but I think safety is the most important thing in this instance.
And Jean just asked you my last question because I was going to ask about your thoughts on the WNBA post-COVID-19 and what it would look like. So that's one question I don't have to ask you.
Okay.
For us to wrap it up, we're going to do rapid fire.
Okay.
Give you a question. First thing that comes to mind, you got to give it to me, okay?
Okay.
What was your most memorable win?
Teresa Weatherspoon, 99.
That's easy, right?
Long shot.
Mm-hmm. What was the one loss that still gets you?
Oh my God. 90 and 96, North Carolina. 94, North Carolina. 0.7 of a second when Charlotte Smith hit the winning three for the championship. 94.
Chaco chick. That's my girl. Okay. Who was your favorite teammate?
Sophia Witherspoon and Becky Hammond.
Good. Who was your biggest rival?
Houston.
Easy. Who was the biggest trash talker?
Tamika Dixon from LA Sparks.
And Tamika was watching, so I hope she hears you say that.
Tamika was,
That's funny. Okay, so what was your favorite and your least favorite city or arena to play in as a player or a coach? Your favorite and your least favorite?
To be honest with you, I think Minnesota. I don't really like Minnesota that well. I mean, of course, they won championships, whatever, but it's just nothing really to do in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota for me.
Okay, so what are your go-to sneakers?
Nike Zoom.
The Nike Zoom. Okay, what is your favorite basketball movie?
Oh, He Got Game.
He Got Game.
Denzel and Ray Allen.
You went through that so quick, and we really appreciate your time and
you're welcome.
Sharing with us such incredible basketball knowledge. And we know your love for the game and just how much of an impact you've had on the players past, present, and the future. And I look forward to watching you coach for a long time, my friend. I will miss you this summer. But you know I'm always near.
All right, babe. Love you.
Thanks, VJ. Have a great one.
All right, bye-bye.
Incredible interview with Coach Vickie Johnson. Just the time and the knowledge that she's had playing on and off the court. She spoke about the nuggets that are really important to pass along to the players, helping them develop off the court as well. And it's just really a good time to share with another lady legend, Coach Vickie Johnson.
Thank you so much, Rushia. It was great to have you on again today.
I didn't hear you, Bridget.
Oh, I said thank you so much for joining us again today. It was great to have you on.
Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for the Legends for hosting.
Of course. So to all of our viewers, we hope you'll tune in for the next episode. Another special edition is coming this Sunday evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. We're going to do the Last Dance pre-show with Scott Williams, three-time NBA champ with the Bulls, and his former Bulls teammate, two-time NBA champ, Cliff Levingston. So be sure to tune in Sunday night, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch at NBA Alumni for the Last Dance pre-show special edition of Legends Live. If you want to catch any of the previously recorded episodes, go to legendsofbasketball.com/legendslive. And until Sunday, thank you all for watching. Be well and take care of each other. Bye-bye.